Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surrounding of our North London allotments. And you join me today on a day where it really feels like the season has changed. You know, we've had very warm weather for September, but today it's much cooler, much more autumnal, bit of rain all around. So I'm basically trying to record this in between showers, but it's not stopped me doing the work up here. Also I've picked a few things, you know, some more beans, some more spinach and rainbow chard. They're still going strong, but also the first of these little sort of white radishes there. You know, it's very much looking forward to those. There's a load more of those to come as well in the ground, but of course I am here to talk about whiskey. What is the choice today? What is the Allotment Dram? I hear you ask. And today I've chosen the Bowmore 15. So this is part of the core range of Bowmore, and you know, very famous distillery from the island of Islay. This one, you know, sits sort of in the middle of the core range and is arguably our favourite of the whole range. As you can see, the bottle's taken a bit of a dent, but don't hold that against us. Whiskey's for drinking after all. But what can I tell you about Bowmore? It's basically in the village of Bowmore on the island of Islay. If you look at the map of Islay, it's a sort of horseshoe shape, and it sits on the big sort of sea lock which forms that sort of middle of the horseshoe. Sits on the coast there, and it's the oldest distillery on Islay. In fact, the second oldest in the whole of Scotland. It's been there since 1779, and only Glenturret actually trumps it in terms of being older and still in production. So that beats it by, 4 years, 1775. But easily the oldest on Islay, and you know, very well known for their sort of very elegant, classy, sort of smoky, peaty whiskies. You know, not quite as sort of brash or heavy as the other distilleries on Islay, you know, particularly those on the south coast like Lefroy and Ardbeg and Lagavulin. So let's have a look at this. As I say, this sits in the middle of the core range and is arguably our favourite. It's 43% as well, so, you know, very nice sort of drinking strength. And here you see a lovely sort of deep gold. There's quite a lot of sherry cask influence in here. So you'll see this sort of deep gold tint of amber in there as well. But let's have a sniff. Yeah, you get this this sort of elegance that I was talking about. You know, peaty, smoky whiskies aren't really for everyone, but this one has a sort of softness to it, and almost like a sweetness to the smoke, rather than that sort of more like acrid medicinal smoke that you sometimes associate with Islay whiskies, and particularly those ones that I mentioned before. But yeah, lovely sort of sweetness there. Then later on there's a little bit of sort of savoury, almost like a barbecue or charcoal or something like that. But of course plenty of this sherry cask influence. So you've got some lovely toffee, caramel, sort of raisins and other dark dried fruits as well. Really it smells really sort of sumptuous and welcoming. So let's have a taste. Yeah, it's got a lovely sort of silkiness to it. So you've got all these sort of rich notes from the sherry cask, as I mentioned before, which, you know, is this toffee, caramel, dried fruits. There's some darker dried fruits in there actually as well, sort of deeper flavours, maybe like a fig or date or something like that as well. A little bit of nuttiness, but like a walnut or Brazil nuts. It's something that has that slight sort of creaminess but bitterness to it as well. You think of the skin around the physical walnut itself. Something like that in there as well. But then you've got this lovely sort of gentle smoke kind of weaving in and out of all these other flavours there. So yeah, really delicious. And let's have another taste. I'm going to make no excuses for having another taste because it's absolutely delicious. yeah, this sort of soft smoke. You know, it's really, again, got this slightly savoury, ashy quality. There's a bit of earthiness in there as well. Maybe a bit of the sort of late earthy spices, you know, something a bit like sort of cinnamon, or maybe a pinch of like powdered ginger or something like that in there. A bit of clove maybe as well, just right on the back. But yeah, an absolutely delicious whiskey, and you know, definitely one to sort of search out. You know, really sort of well priced as well. You know, 15-year-old, it's what, about sort of £55-60 most places, I would say, and just displays a different sort of elegant smoke than you maybe associate with Islay. So if you haven't tried a Bowmore before, it's definitely worth it. And also the smoking level is a little bit lower as well, so it's about 35 ppm on the phenol parts per million scale. So yeah, delicious. So from myself and the Bowmore 15, we shall bid you farewell. The sun's just coming out actually, which is a welcome change from all the sort of grey and showery rain that's been kicking around. But we shall both bid you farewell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.